Hello, hello, and welcome back to Surviving to Thriving. I'm glad to have all of you highly sensing souls here. If you've followed me for a while, you know that I prefer highly sensing to highly sensitive, just because it doesn't have that stigma. But we do talk about all things about high sensitivity on this show, and I'm really wanting to help you move from struggle and just barely surviving to really embracing your trait and going from surviving to thriving, because it really is an amazing journey if we can embrace it. And this month we're talking all about honoring yourself, and that's honoring yourself as a highly sensing person with this trait versus in spite of, or if you just don't pay attention to that, then you're okay. But allowing for that to be part of who you really are and letting that shine so that you're not constantly feeling like you need to be something else, be someone else, do something different, just to be okay and fit in. So that's our focus for this month. And I'm going to do a little bit something different today. And to get us kind of in that mode, ready for that, I'd like to take you through a little meditation to start with. So wherever you are, if you can do this, and of course, if not, watch the recording later, but just get in a comfortable position where you can have your spine nice and straight. If you're able and comfortable, go ahead and close down your eyes. If it's more comfortable to just have your eyes open and stare out in front of you and soften that gaze, whatever is good for you to just be able to let go, settle in. First, let's do a little grounding. So just as you sit there, wherever you are, imagine that you're sending roots or energy lines down from your seat, from your root, from your feet, down into the earth, farther and farther, deeper and deeper toward the very center of the earth. And feel that supportive, loving energy of Mother Earth as that radiates back up through your roots. And just allow that to help you relax, settle into that earth energy, and really feel grounded and secure, strong and stable. There's so much support in that earth energy. And as you feel that connection, go ahead and allow yourself to slow down your breathing. Don't work hard at it, but let that breath get much longer and deeper as you really allow that energy from the earth come up through your roots into your body, filling up every little piece of your body, every cell, feeling totally supported, grounded, rooted into the earth. And paying attention to that breath, as you inhale each time, allow that sense of peace and calm to enter your body. Let it just radiate through. And with every exhale, allow anything that's in your body that's not serving you right now, any energies, any toxins, any conflicts, any emotions that are troubling, anything at all that's not serving you. On that exhale, just let that all release down through your body into those roots and down to the center of the earth. The Earth Mother can handle everything that we send her way, and she just transforms it into something amazing. So no worries about sending something too heavy. She will take it, transform it, and leave you lighter, feeling supported. So every exhale, after that nice deep inhale, just allow all that's not serving you to release through the roots all the way to the core of the earth. Supportive, loving energy into your body and releasing what doesn't serve. And while that continues, you stay nice and rooted with the earth. Allow the top of your head to open and allow an amazing, vibrant light come in from the cosmos, from the divine, through the top of your head and down throughout your whole body, slowly spreading from the top of your head all the way down to your fingers and your toes, feeling totally connected. And as that energy comes in from your head, from the cosmos, from the divine, allow it to really settle into your heart area. Let that expand, feel that energy increase and expand outward from all, in all directions from your heart, not just in the front, but in the back and the sides, the top and the bottom, all around, just radiating outward into your field. Keeping that breath slow and steady. And see if you can experience this energy coming in, radiating out from your heart space, but at the same time radiating inward to your heart, allowing you to connect even more deeply with your true self that is the divine. That connection coming from the cosmos that is also just coming from your heart. Allow that to strengthen. Allow yourself to connect with your own inner being at an even deeper level. Allowing all of that support and love and radiant light from the universe into your core. Allowing it to magnify around your heart and feel that deep connection with your inner being. Take a nice deep, deep breath in, letting any residual, unwanted, unhelpful energy to release as you exhale. And then start to be more aware of the present moment again. Move your body in some little ways, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Be aware of the seat that you're on as you're connected to the earth. Be aware of the whole rest of your body, maybe shrug your shoulders, move around a little bit. Be aware of the room that you're sitting in. And when you're ready, just come fully back to the present moment. But still hold on to that nice sense of grounding and being connected with your inner self, with the divine, which is all the same. And allow that to kind of perpetuate as we go forward here. One of the things that I hear so often from people when we get together with other highly sensing people, I just recently did a retreat, and that was one of the common themes in people's responses was, it is so nice to be in a group of other people who get me, who understand what my experiences are like, and I don't have to explain myself, and I feel supported because everyone's experiencing similar things. And sometimes we don't have that around us. Hopefully you all have at least one person that you get so much support from that is also highly sensing, or really, really takes that time to try to understand what that's like for you. But if you have someone that you can be around, even if it's not physical, my best friend, I don't see very often. We connect, virtually, digitally, but I always know she's there and she totally gets me because we're both highly sensing. And then sometimes I have friends that I'm around physically, and that's so amazing and empowering and impactful. So I know for some of us that doesn't happen nearly often enough. And for even some, it's really not happening much at all, if at all. And so I think as the more you honor yourself for who you are as a highly sensing person, the more you're likely to be sending out those vibes to the universe and drawing that energy back to you in the form of like-minded or those that understand, friends or colleagues or people that can be that support system for you. But first, you really must honor who you are and put that energy, that intention out there of having more like you that are around that can understand you. But for today, what I want to do is kind of act as your surrogate support system, your friend, your confidant, your person who understands who you are, where you're coming from, and what that's like, because I do get it completely. And so I would like for you to connect again, with that feeling of that earth energy. Stay really grounded. Open yourself again from the heart center to what I'm going to offer. If you're able, go ahead and close down your eyes again if you would like, or just stare off and put yourself in a place of receiving, because I'm going to offer you some things. I want you to really bring in, really receive, digest, hold for you, coming from this very heart-centered place of what I'm going to offer. And just let these ideas sink in and accept them and know that they are true. I'm going to give you some affirmations, but they're directed to you as a confidant or as a friend would do. It's nice to have our own, positive affirmations. I am this, or I am that. And that's super important. Very good focus to have. But in this case, I'm going to actually be presenting those to you, using the term you, because I'm sending them to you, and they are 100% valid and real and true. And I want you to just absorb them as much as you can. And you can watch the recording later, so don't feel like you need to write these down right now. You can access them again. Just let them sink in. And being in that place where we just meditated and we're connecting with our true inner self, let that place shine. Let that open up and really absorb these. I'm going to go fairly slowly so that each statement you have time to let it sink in and let it sink into that heart space. Put your hand on your heart if you would like, if that helps you to focus on bringing these in to your heart area. So from me to you with love, these are some affirmations that I hope you will resonate with and allow into your system. So taking a nice deep breath, and again, paying attention to receiving. You are amazing. And you are amazing as a highly sensing person. Just allow that to soak in. Your sensitivity brings light to the world. And here I'm going to note, please try and check yourself, your judgment, which is very common, and negating anything that I say, no yeah buts or if onlys. Just allow it in. Act as though it's true, even if in this moment you're not so sure. Allow it in, let it resonate, let it instill in your system. Your sensitivity brings light to the world. Let it be so. You are normal in any sensitive arena. You are so much like other highly sensing people. You are normal. It doesn't matter what others think. You are awesome. Just allowing that in to sit and reside in your heart. You don't have to change a thing in order to fit in. You don't have to change a thing. There is nothing wrong with your sensitivity. You don't need to change it, get rid of it, ignore it. There is nothing wrong with your sensitivity. And give a little check on your breathing. Make sure it's still nice and steady and slow. If this is a little challenging for you, you might revert back to short, shallow breaths. Stay connected with the earth. Allow this information to come in. Let it feel true. Your sensitivity allows you to appreciate so much more in life than others. This is one of my favorite things about being highly sensing. You are able to appreciate so much in life. Your intuition is strong and amazing. Just let that soak in. You are lovable and loved. If this one's particularly challenging for you, just try to give it permission, knowing that later it might feel more true. The more you allow it in, you are lovable and loved. Nice, steady breathing. You are quite understood by other HSPs. You're so similar. Other HSPs get you. Letting that just soak in. Be in that heart space. Allow that it's true. You are important. High sensitivity is something that's been around for eons, even in the animal population, for a reason. Those of us who are highly sensing are so for a reason. We're important. You are important. You can celebrate your sensitivity. Your sensitivity is so important and so worth celebrating. Just allow that in. This is another that might be challenging for many. You are worthy. I'm going to say this several times. You are worthy. You are worthy of everything in the universe, everything that's offered. You are worthy of connecting with other HSPs, other people who love and support you. You are worthy of anything your heart desires. You truly are an amazing, highly sensing soul. Your sensitivity is unique, important, amazing, and worth celebrating. So I hope you will allow these thoughts to roam around in there, around your heart space, throughout your whole body. Let them just sit there without judgment. Anytime you might catch yourself saying, oh yeah, those were great, except for that one, identify what that one is, and then go back in and say, okay, I'm going to allow this in until it feels true. And that might take some practice. But know that these things are all true. You are highly sensing for a reason. It's an amazing thing. You don't need to change it. And if you can honor who you are as a highly sensing person, then everything will flow so much more easily for you. And you can bring more and more people into your circle who understand and get it. And I'll talk about this another time, but coming from that place of honoring also helps you to then get your needs met with others, because you feel that it's worth doing, worth asking for, that you are worth receiving that support. So today is about honoring by allowing those things to be true, reminding yourself that you have all of these amazing characteristics and abilities and personality traits that are connected with, not in spite of, your sensitivity. So I hope you'll revisit this, sit down and quiet yourself again, do a little meditation, and listen to these words again and again until they feel true. And as you do that, see if others come up that I didn't even mention today, as you start to honor yourself more and say, oh yeah, I'm also this, and my sensitivity helps me with this and this. Bring all those things in that really affect you, that resonate with you, and make them so solid. And that will help you going forward to get that support that you would like from others. Remember, you are always supported by yourself, your inner knowing, that connection with the divine. That connection is always there. You always have that support, even when it doesn't seem like we're supported and honored by the humans around us. Hopefully this helps for today to help you along that journey a little bit further. And of course, I will see you again here next week to talk a little bit more about honoring yourself in another way. Thank you so much for being here. It's really my mission to help as many highly sensing people as I can to move from just surviving to thriving. And I urge you to reach out to me if you have any questions or you just want to connect with someone who does get you. And there's information in the show notes, of course, of how to connect with me. Thank you so much, and I will see you again.